What's up, bitches? Happy Friday. You made it through the week. So that is something to celebrate. And you're still tuning into Listen Bitch Podcast, which means I haven't pissed you off yet. So I don't know if I'm really doing my job here. Am I? Am I making you question things? Am I making you look in the mirror? If not, then we're going to get a little more serious with our conversations. I did chat a little bit yesterday about, being in that present moment. So that's what we're going to chat about right now. Um, and then I have a topic for next week already because I packed a lot in my day today and I'm trying to get stuff done before I go bartend. Usually I record the podcast when I come home, but I feel like I'm just easily distracted late at night. My brain is kind of done and I feel like I'm not as passionate and excited about what I'm talking about. Like yesterday was a fucking shit show in my mind. You know what I mean? If I pulled off the podcast and you thought it was all right, that's great. But I just felt like between the dogs and just my own head, I was not having a great time, y'all. Okay. So we're going to talk about that too, like how to not feel overwhelmed on days that you're working. I might do that on Microdose Monday. So if you guys survive the weekend, make sure you tune in Monday. We're going to talk about psilocybin. I'm going to throw some science shit at you. I should write that down, ho, because I'm probably not going to remember that I said that. But I will try to bring some science shit in the conversation. But I want to talk about how to not feel overwhelmed. Okay. Um, I'm going to be honest. I know that worrying about the future, it's kind of a natural instinct, and sometimes it's really unavoidable. And there's a very rare occurrence when worrying can actually help us prepare for what's going to come. But what happens is that we end up making this like an issue and a part of, who we are. And it ends up defining us because it ends up, manifesting into anxiety. It ends up becoming an uncontrollable habit. And then absolutely we have impaired our ability to function. Okay. Because we're just so fucking anxious. Um, and we're not happy. You cannot be anxious and happy at the same time. It doesn't work. Okay. 1,000%. Why do I say 1,000% so much? It's even starting to annoy me. So you guys have to take a shot every time I say that. Whatever you drink, we're sober around here. So take a shot of water. I don't know. Maybe that's how you get your gallon in. Listen to my podcast. Take a shot of water when I say 1,000%, because that's just fucking weird. It's weird, right? Um, you're not as happy and you're going to fuck up your chance of success. Okay. Because as much as you think that worrying is going to help you, if you really look at the truth of the matter, if you go to the past experiences you've had, worrying didn't change anything. And most of the things that you're afraid of don't happen. This is a thing that I do with my clients, have them write shit they're afraid of, their biggest worries on a piece of paper, hide it for 6 months, and then go pull that paper out and read that paper. And I guarantee that shit did not come to fruition. It just doesn't happen. But this is what's stopping us from living in the present moment and focusing on remaining fully present. Life, everything that's happening in between our goals, that's the shit that matters. That is the real life experience. That is what we're here for. Life doesn't start when you get the job promotion. Life doesn't start when you are happy. It's happening on the journey to whatever it is you're focused on. So staying present is how I deal with stuff without losing my mind. But this means that, you've got to be fully aware and focused on what is happening around you in those moments. That means you've got to feel mentally strong enough to actually handle the present moment. That means even those moments where you're having the uncomfortable emotions. I struggle with that a little bit this week. Today's definite, it's not so bad. Um, but the change has also been prolonged a little bit. So I feel like, my decision making has, I have time to simmer in it and pray about it and just kind of, be guided to my answer. But this means we have to stop worrying about the future. And we cannot continuously worry about the past. We have to stay highly concentrated in this moment. And I want to challenge you to do that this weekend. And it is a challenge. It is going to be hard. It's one of those things. Everything we do here is like a muscle. We just build on it. We bring it to our awareness. Everything I talk about on this podcast, you're not going to one day just nail all these things at once. It's a matter of, oh shit, I do remember she talked about this and I need to bring this back into my current awareness. That's even something as little as praying. I will sometimes it will leave my consciousness and I'm like, oh my gosh, I haven't prayed for a minute. Um, it's a natural thing. It's absolutely natural. But how do you stop worrying about the future? How do you live in the moment? And that's avoid trying to tell the future. There are so many people out there that want to take advantage of the fact you wish you knew what was coming. They're scamming you. It is a scam. No one knows what's coming, but I can tell you if you list out your habits and the things that you do every day, I'll tell you exactly where you're going to be a year from now. That's an easy diagnosis. Okay. So if you really want to tell your future, then start focusing on what your habits are and what your goals are and where you're headed. Okay. Because worrying about the future, we're just trying to predict what might happen. And it's usually a negative outcome that we're fearing. Okay. Then we have worry. Then you have engaged your fight or flight response, and you're putting this weight on your nervous system that's unnecessary. So you just need to, in this moment, understand and accept that you can't predict the future. Instead of worrying about what's going to happen, get in this present moment and focus on what it would take for you to enjoy every single moment. Think about this risk of what it would be if you just continue to worry. Negative consequences. Boom, we're talking about self-esteem. That's out the window if you're going to continue to worry, because you're going to feel bad about yourself no matter what. You're going to feel less motivated to take any action. Most of you bitches are so worried about what's to come and so fearful and so worked the fuck up that you're not doing anything. You are not taking action on anything. How much time have you wasted worrying about the future in the past month? Imagine, instead of worrying, if you just took action and did some good things, how different would this month have looked for you? You've got to embrace your past. A lot of people that I have seen that are successful, I guarantee they went through, the worried, anxious phase. Everybody does this. It's about coming into the awareness. So, how are these people successful now? It's because they turned their past shit into something positive as they chose to grow and mature. Instead of worrying about the future, focus on building on your past and appreciating your life of today at this moment right now. What is something you can embrace from the past that you could celebrate and take with you and build on? You have to stay conscious about where your thoughts are going. You've got to hold yourself accountable, hold yourself to the fire when it comes to worrying about tomorrow, because it's unnecessary. Our gift is that we have the power and the potential to stay in the present moment without worrying about the future. Otherwise, you're just condemning yourselves to this window of fear. The present moment has no rules. It doesn't have limitations. Generally, if you can get into this present moment, you're going to experience that peace and joy. It's a positive experience. But if you already are a negative state of mind, then worrying is going to tempt you and you're going to draw some bullshit to you. If you were just like, well, this always happens, boom, it's always going to happen. It's always going to happen. And I get it. There's some miserable fucks out there. Everywhere you go, there you are. And some people just don't get it. They don't get it. And it doesn't matter if they got a new job, they got a new spouse, they got a new everything or anything. They're still going to find reasons to be pissed off. You have to learn to set boundaries to avoid people like this. Okay. You want to be around the people that are going to bring you into the joy of that present moment. When you're tempted to let your thoughts go down a negative track, don't give in to the temptation. Consciously hold yourself from overthinking about it. That's it. Maybe you need to put the rubber band on your wrist. Do the tapping, whatever it takes. Do the, there's the anxiety, do the box breathing, whatever it takes for you just to become conscious again and back to your awareness of where you are right now. How many times do you drive home and you don't remember how you got home? Like you just subconsciously drive and you're just like, whoa. And I'm not talking about when you're wasted hoe. I'm talking about like natural experience. I do it all the time. And I have to come into my awareness, especially because I'm on the roads late at night and there's deer everywhere in Michigan. So it's very important for me to continue to stay in that conscious state of mind. And if we think about like our environment, okay, we are very adaptable beings. Okay. We can handle any situation. Absolutely. If you think about the truth, you have handled every situation you've ever been through. Um, but I get that shit is happening. Like, the current state of our economy and our country, that all can be a little stressful. Okay. It is, I'll just say it's stressful. It's stressful. Um, so that can tempt you to worry more about your situation, but I encourage you to focus on your home. It's easy to get caught up in the news and the media and what everybody's talking about. You give a fuck about the greatest, latest celebrity gossip. We don't give a shit about that. Get your house in order. If you are worried about the government, I'm telling you, find a way to get your family set up. Get right with God, get right with your habits, get your communication skills open with your family. That is the core foundation. Okay. There's not a president of the United States that has ever influenced my kids. Okay. You're the influence there. You're the one breaking generational curses. Start raising your kids to understand that we have a government that is supposed to be working for us, and that is what we want them to fight for. So if you raise good, strong human beings, they're going to get it. They're going to bring this into their core ethics and values, and our future has hope, right? That's where you apply your worry, your focus. Okay. Um, Circumstances change, the environment changes. Every situation that we face is unique and it has a different outcome based on whatever factors are happening at the time. But this is where we allow ourselves that grace and we start to become flexible and mentally adapt to the changing circumstances. Living in the moment is where you're going to find the greatest peace. Okay. And definitely tune in to my psilocybin podcast on Monday, because I think this is a great natural tool that will not affect, your demeanor. It is not a drug that's going to get you high when you're taking it in a minuscule amount. Okay. But it definitely is a great tool to keep you in this moment. But outside of that, this is a skill and it's going to take time to master. So it's a matter of choosing today that you're going to commit to this, because this is literally being in the present moment teaches us how to be happier. Like those moments where I'm really spiraling, I cling to my kids. They're innocent, they're funny, they're entertaining, they're intelligent, they're little sponges. There's peace and joy and happiness when I'm in that moment with them. I'm not worrying about the future. I'm not worried about the past. Time is something that man created. We can stop living by the bounds of time if we just acknowledge that we are in the present moment and we have enough time to do everything that we want to do every day. Stop watching the clock. Make those seconds count by embracing that present moment, living fully in it, and actually genuinely enjoying what's happening right now. I encourage you to do that this weekend. And that means you're going to have to be selective about who you're spending your time with and what you're doing. What are your activities? Be mindful of that. But anyway, bitch, that's your challenge. I'll see you guys Monday. Have a great weekend. Bye.